Welcome. In this video, the event, Crimson Echoes of Azur Lane, will be summarized. Throughout the video, there will be spoilers for the story of Azur Lane. If you don't want to be spoiled, please go and play the game. The event starts with a recap of the cutscene where the 1st and 2nd carrier divisions, consisting of Akagi, Kaga, Hiryu, and Soryu, are sunk during the Battle of Midway by Enterprise and Hornet's bombers. But, this time, it ends with Kaga apologizing to Amagi for not living up to her expectations. A flashback occurs. It's of Amagi and Kaga playing shogi, with Amagi winning 10 times in a row. Amagi tells Kaga that she sealed her fate by leaving out her king in the middle of the board, and that going on the offensive while appearing to be defensive is an effective strategy. Kaga challenges Amagi to another match and loses again, making it her 11th consecutive loss. Amagi notices that it's getting late and begins to head home, with Akagi, as she doesn't want to get in the way of Kaga's training. Mutsu and Nagato are watching the three, with Mutsu saying that all participants for this year's exercise are very motivated. Later, Nagato, the flagship of the combined fleet, serves as the referee of the year's naval exercises. She announces that during this time, the fleets must come together more than ever to face the sirens and other threats from around the world. The flagship of the winning side of the war games will be appointed as the combined fleet's next flagship. Mutsu announces that the red team will be led by Amagi and the blue team by Kaga in her battleship form. Nagato opens the war games, wanting everyone to perform at their peak for the future of the combined fleet. Amagi makes the first move and shows up in front of Hadakaze, which Hadakaze didn't expect. An exercise is no place to mess around, and Amagi believes that Kaga may act haphazardly if Amagi doesn't appear. It's no mere game to Amagi, as she likes devising new strategies. If Amagi wishes to get around Hadakaze, she must defeat her. Hadakaze, unsurprisingly, loses when facing Amagi. Hadakaze asks if Amagi truly wants to be the next flagship, as she was different when the two fought, fighting with determination that she's never seen from Amagi before. Amagi reasons that if they keep practicing the same things each year, the Sakura Empire will be left behind on the battlefield, which is why she's testing new strategies. Hadakaze understands now, as no matter who wins, she will still support the new flagship. Mutsu calls an end to the first day of the naval exercise. Amagi begins coughing, feeling like she could faint. She needs to hold on just a little longer for her plan to come to fruition. The next opponent that Amagi faces is Naka, with Naka saying that it's an honor to fight alongside her superiors, and to be seen as a candidate for the flagship. Though, just because Naka is Amagi's subordinate, that doesn't mean she'll just step aside and let her pass through. Amagi handily defeats Naka, with Amagi praising Naka for how well she fought. Jinsu is wise, Sendai is strong, and the qualities that Naka possesses may rival or surpass them, with Amagi wishing that her sister, Akagi, was more like Naka. Akagi may be strong, but she can't control her strength. Naka believes that Akagi will be fine if Amagi is there to guide her. Amagi then suddenly starts coughing heavily, with Amagi saying she's fine before waving Naka off. How much longer will Amagi be able to watch over Akagi? The next morning, Amagi notices that everyone is in a rush, and asks Hadakaze what the commotion is about. The two hurry to where the commotion is, the exercise information board, to see Akagi and Kaga fighting. Kaga calls Akagi stupid for wanting to replace Amagi, with Akagi saying that she's one to talk as Kaga ran away from the battle. Kaga reasons that she won't be lured out by Amagi appearing in the front lines, as well as being different from battle cruisers as she's a battleship. Since their armor's so thin, why would she be scared of them? Akagi says that she and Amagi can reach up to 30 knots, with Kaga saying if she's proud of how fast they can run away. Amagi comes over and smacks both of them in the head, with the two going from almost fighting to silent from Amagi's rage. Amagi forces the two to make up, smile, and hold hands. Hidden under Amagi's pleased smile was the rage of a beast, one that shouldn't be awoken. Amagi reminds the two that the future of the Sakura Empire lies in their hands, and if there's infighting, they'll easily be defeated by their enemies. As the crowd disperses, and Akagi and Kaga go their separate ways, all that's left is Amagi, silent and lost in her own thoughts. Later, Kaga and Amagi finally meet face to face. Thanks to Amagi, Kaga has learned how to attack the theoretical king's defenses, but in combat, Kaga believes that Amagi doesn't stand a chance against her. Amagi makes a deal with Kaga. If Kaga wins, Amagi will be her servant, but if Amagi wins, Kaga will be her servant. The two agree and get to battling. Amagi encircles Kaga as she was hiding her talent for combat all along, as all warfare is based on deception, and she has been planning the war games for a while. Even in the midst of gunfire and explosions, Amagi managed to stay calm and still give commands and strategies. Amagi asks Kaga to call her Amagi-san from now on, though one thing has been on her mind. If the war game was a real battle, would Kaga have won? Nagato announces the end of the Sakura Empire's combined fleet's naval exercises with her speech. Nagato is proud of those who participated, with both teams fighting well through the event. In regards to the candidate for the next flagship of the combined fleet, when the time comes, the powers will be delegated to Amagi. Akagi is so happy that she bursts into tears, but Nagato also has some heavy news. The battle they won decades ago against the Sirens was won due to the amount of resources invested in the military. But the Admiralty has settled on a treaty with the Eagle Union, Royal Navy, Iris Libre, and Sardinia Empire that says they all must downscale their navy by the agreed upon amount. Construction of new capital ships is not permitted. The construction of those already underway must be halted. There are a lucky few who can be converted to a different type of ship, but the rest will never be completed. And any ship that does not meet the treaty's terms must be disassembled. Later, Ashigara rushes to Amagi and hands her a letter, which says that she entrusts the future of the combined fleet and Sakura Empire to Amagi. This letter is from Kaga, who left it before charging towards a siren-controlled Mirror Sea. A destroyer division has been deployed to chase after her, but they lack the firepower to handle the recon of the Mirror Sea. Amagi understands the situation, and she'll handle the rest. Since the signing of the treaty, everything has changed. Their time is short, but there's something that Amagi must finish. But first, she must bring back Kaga. Setting a quickly put-together fleet is ill-advised, with Amagi bolting out of the room as she had an idea. She rushes to find Hoshu, the first aircraft carrier of the Sakura Empire, to ask her a favor. Specifically for Hoshu to send her planes into the Mirror Sea to search for Kaga. Hoshu agrees because Amagi is desperate and sends out her planes. Amagi whispers something into her ear, consoles Akagi about the bad feeling she has, and sets off into the Mirror Sea. Amagi and Hadakaze arrive at the Mirror Sea, with Amagi remembering passing through this area barely a month ago, and is now witnessing what it has become. According to Hadakaze, the Sirens' movements are unpredictable, with the Mirror Sea taking the place of where the war games were held. Ashigara arrives and reports that Hoshu's recon squad has detected combat 10 nautical miles ahead of where they are. Though Amagi isn't convinced about the combat abilities of the planes, she's pleased by their recon capabilities. Amagi has all ships switch to high alert and use their judgment when engaging Sirens. Amagi gets hit, with Ashigara and Naka seeing if she's alright, but it's just a scratch. She didn't expect the Sirens to self-destruct. Ashigara tells her not to overexert herself, but Amagi doesn't want to leave the front line solely to them. How could a commander hide in the rear while her subordinates sacrifice themselves? People like that are cowards. Amagi then finds a piece of Kaga's outfit, calling Kaga a fool, but seeing she's stronger than she originally thought. Ashigara reports that they've lost contact with the recon aircraft near them, with Amagi believing that they've most likely been shot down by the Sirens. And since the other recon planes haven't found Kaga yet, he's most likely in the direction of where the planes were shot down. Naka spots black clouds in the sky coming towards them, meaning they're under attack from a carrier-class Siren. Amagi has everyone prepare their AA measures in an S formation with the secondary weapons raised to the max elevation angle to take down the planes. Amagi finally reaches where Kaga is, with Kaga being surprised that they found her. Amagi asks Kaga why she's doing this, acting like her death will solve all of her problems. Kaga begins speaking, saying that she'd rather die than be converted into something weak like an aircraft carrier. Amagi slaps her, saying that she only talks about being strong and weak, like some tragic hero of an opera. But because of her fantasies, her comrades bleed. The world has never judged who is weak or strong. Kaga is making up an excuse to escape reality. As long as Kaga can make it back to port and display her power in the next war game, she can prevent being decommissioned. Amagi turns towards the enemy planes coming in and has everyone prepare to attack the Siren carrier. The Sakura Empire ships manage to defeat the Siren carrier, with the planes falling into disarray without their mastermind. However, the surviving planes began to climb to the point where they're out of reach of the AA guns. Ashigara asks Amagi to retreat, with Amagi beginning to cough heavily. Amagi starts to tell the others to run before collapsing. Kaga rushes over to where Amagi is, with the plane seizing the opportunity to drop a bomb on Amagi. Kaga manages to shield her, with Kaga's armor being split apart from the explosion. Another bomb goes off nearby. Kaga asks what to do, with Amagi vaguely saying that there's just a little more. The Sakura fleet has no experience with dealing with a carrier's attacks. When your resolve is weak, you risk not only your life, but the lives of your comrades. Amagi coughs again and spots a number of Sakura Empire biplanes coming towards them, mowing down all the Siren planes in their way. The two are saved by Hoshu's fighter aircraft, which Amagi told her to send if a recon plane was lost. Kaga takes Amagi and tells everyone that they're returning to port. Hadakaze tells Kaga that Amagi finally regained consciousness earlier, but she needs rest and won't be taking any visitors today. During Amagi's examination, it was found that her wisdom cube has been severely damaged for some time, though no one knows what caused it. Hadakaze is worried that in Amagi's current state, she won't even be able to be a civilian, let alone become a carrier. Amagi calls out to Hadakaze, saying that there's one thing left to do, with Hadakaze promising to get it done. Later, Nagato makes an announcement, saying that the Sirens have captured and converted a Sakura training ground into a mirror sea. Because of this, the combined fleet is going to strengthen perimeter defenses, patrolling, and establish garrisons on remote islands. To train, another naval exercise will be held, Red Team on offensive and Blue Team on defensive. Nagato then starts the war games. Kaga and Amagi face off against each other in the naval exercise, with Kaga wondering why Amagi is there. Amagi explains that she wants to feel the pulse of her cannons firing one last time while she's still a battlecruiser. If Kaga considers her to be a rival, she is yet to best Amagi even once, but Amagi doesn't want Kaga to go easy on her. Kaga believes she truly is blessed to have an opponent like Amagi, the two charging to fight each other. Kaga finally beats Amagi, as she's learned from the best. Amagi calls herself Kaga's big sister, saying that she's proud of her. Amagi says that she was born into the world as a weak person. She always wanted to protect Akagi, as well as everyone else in the fleet. Even Amagi, a weakling, tried to become strong, but she was not able to attain true strength. Amagi believes that the seas will soon be ruled by aircraft carriers, and that Kaga and Akagi will form the foundation of the Sakura fleet's future. Kaga must never underestimate her enemies. For Kaga and Akagi, strength is both of their birthright and obligations. Amagi then asks to be remembered as Amagi the Strong, and for Kaga to protect the Sakura Empire, and to take care of Akagi in her stead. Kaga is woken by Akagi, with Kaga asking what happened to her. Akagi says that while Kaga was asleep, with her sleep being due to a large battle, she mentioned a nostalgic name. Akagi asks if Kaga has seen the brooch she always wears. Kaga thinks to herself that Akagi is very different personality-wise. Akagi says that they should hurry back to the sanctuary for some more planning, as if her plans go accordingly, they'll be able to meet her. The final two cutscenes are essentially the conversation between Amagi and Nagito before Amagi went off to find Kaga in the Mirror Sea. The conversation boils down to Amagi wanting Kaga to become a carrier instead of being decommissioned, because Amagi sees a lot of potential in the strength of Kaga, and offers to take her place, as 3 ships are needed to be decommissioned. Amagi has already asked Hoshu to train Akagi and Kaga in using their planes, and then leaves to find Kaga. The other is a prelude to Visitors Died in Red, with Kaga remembering getting a jade brooch from Amagi, and being told to wear it at all times, then wondering what Amagi would do if she was still there. Then, Akagi says her opening lines from Visitors Died in Red. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter for updates. I also stream and are currently streaming Arknights IS3, and please check out my other Arknights and Azur Lane videos as well.